Hi friends, here is my Jyotish predictions for 2024 for Sri Lanka. Like as I did this for 2023, I encourage you to look at that and see, how accurate I was in that, and I'm going to follow up that after the year end. Now this is for 2024. Let's see what's up for 2024. Here are the unfavorable periods based on the planet moments. In other words, we call it transits. So based on this, early January, peaking on January 8th, there's a Rahu Saturn transit, a moment that in relation to the birth chart that I will show at the end. When this happened last time, sometime in 2005, there was some you can see deteriorate over the international tsunami aid. So this is something possibly related to, based on this kind of a transit. I think this is relating to something financial. It could be IMF loan related. Maybe we are getting the thing, or we are getting the second tranche, or we are not. There is something that happens related to that. On January 8th is the peak, but it happens before that. Peak is exact point of contact, but that is that's not we are discussing. It happens before that time. Now the second one, late February to late May, that is a very long time. It's a bad period for sure. It is related to government and Ketu. Ketu is always, inflammatory situations, conflicts, unhappiness, that kind of stuff relating to the government. So when this happened last time, and it was like half a degree away from the exact point, Lakshman Kadiragama, our foreign minister, was killed. So this transit is going to create some lot of pressure to the government continually, and it could happen something similar here, or something really high pressure where elections or something that's going to happen out of this. It could be like Aragalaya type thing, close to, it's not necessarily exact similar thing, but there will be a lot of pressure to the government during this period from late February to late May. And then in June, all of June, at the beginning of the June pretty much, you're going to have Rahu Ketu on most effective point of Sri Lanka chart that peaks on June 18th. So when this happened, there was elections in 2005, and President Mahinda Rajapaksa was elected as president of, at that time. So does that mean elections again here? It's possible, because of the earlier one from February to May. That's going to be persistent transit. That's going to create a lot of pressure to the government, and the government may very well push it towards the elections. It could be parliamentary elections, and then that's probably what's going to happen, and then the election end up somewhere in June. And also November, now you have a Rahu Moon transit which peaks on November 18th. That, when we look at what happened in earlier time, they had these peace talks between Tigers and in Switzerland, the government, and actually nothing really happened out of it. At that time, people had a lot of hopes, but it was nothing material happened out of that. So here also it could be a false promise that towards the people, and not keeping it. So people get disappointed that's probably what's going to happen on this November transit. So these are the 4 transits that are going to, material transits that are going to affect Sri Lanka in 2024. And here what we can expect based on the Sri Lanka is running a Rahu period, and you can see more details below. This is what we can expect in 2024. There will be undue foreign influences, selling of assets, behind the scene deals, and corruption, which we are not immune to these things. This has been happening all this time, and then may hide the reality. Everyone try to hide the reality, and try to deceive people. That's highly possible. And injustices and slow investigations, cheatings, stealing, and false promises. There will be a lot of false promises because we expect 2024 to be election year. So there will be a lot of false promises for sure from everyone. And also tries to show rosy appearance, like government or whoever can try to show that, they are the cleanest people, or like everything is rosy, but it's not in the real case. That's because of the Rahu. Increased foreign debts. Definitely we are going to have more and more foreign debts. So there will be more foreign debts, and conflicts and unhappy population. At the end, what will happen is, people are suffering so much now, and there will be conflicts and unhappy population there. Now, the earlier time that I said, the bad times are based on the transits, which is, the movement of the planets at the time. But this is based on the dasa periods. What dasa we are running is Rahu Saturn from November 2, 2023 to April 6. This is when I have a red planet, means it's a negative, and this is a positive planet. So the current time that are running now, it's similar kind of period that's going to run till like April 6. So then after that, this is a triple malefic period, meaning Rahu, Mercury. Mercury is the most malefic planet for Sri Lanka. So this period is going to be really, really difficult period. You can see that from the transits also. We are going to have that we saw above, from April to May, February to May, because part of this also coming in. It's going to be tough there, particularly month of May there. And also this is also really a tough time. Rahu, Ketu, meaning this is main period, this is the Antar period, and this is the Vidasa, like, third level of dasas. So this is Mahadasa, Atrudasa, and Vidasa. So from that we'll go from August 24th to October 21. This one, Rahu, Venus. Venus is our Lagna Lord, but it's very, very weak. So we're going to have a bad period here as well. So we are going to have a bad period here, which is probably the election time. You can see election time over here, election time over here, somewhere here. So it's going to be, a lot of troublesome period, conflicting periods. And I just write what are the significations of each planet here. Saturn, Mercury, Ketu, you can look at that. These are the things that's going to affect it in these kind of periods. That's what it means. And what's Jyotish shows is the karma of the nation, all collective karma of the nation. That is a good and bad karma, mainly everyone living in Sri Lanka. Of course, people living overseas also suffer some extent, but people who are living in Sri Lanka is the one that truly suffers. So that's what it is. And then there are 3 malefic planets that are affecting Sri Lanka. Those are the 3 bad, those are the 3 planets that shows all bad karma of the nation. Mercury as the most malefic planet. That's why MMP means most malefic planet. Ketu and Rahu. So, this is really bad for us. these periods are bad for us and these periods are bad for us. This one is to a large extent also. Sri Lanka running malefic Rahu Mahadasa from January 25th, 2023 to 2041. That's a long period. But Mahadasa is not really, it's only like 15% of the effect of a Mahadasa. But then the Atrudasa, the second level is running till October 2025. So Rahu is running from 2023 to 2025, Rahu Antardasa, which is the most effective part, which is about 60 to 65% of effect. And then since we are running Rahu period, what does Rahu represents? These ones, diplomatic moves, deceptive, travel, tourism, transportation. Like, we will have a lot of travel, we will have tourism also, that kind of thing. But Rahu always talks about manipulation and deceit. This is why I had this above, there will be a lot of manipulation and deceit. Poison dealers, gun dealers, drug pushers, drug dealers. A lot of drug issues are all so much, taken over in our society. Wine making, wine merchants, salesmen, panic, conmen, cheats. Everything to do with really pleasure seekers, insincere and immoral acts that we hear all the time. That's going to continue in this period. And also Rahu is going in the 6th house, which is a negative house. And this house is responsible for these stuff: public goodwill, general health of the public, political stability, financial solvency of the nation, relations with neighbors, management of debts. We're going to have a lot of management of debt. We know relations with neighbors are a lot of it's complicated situations. India, China, US, and all the other countries. Litigations and judicial functioning, communal harmony in the country, and the labor relations. All of these are negative aspect of these will be seen in this kind of a period. It's not necessarily all positive things, because you're running a negative planet period. Originally Rahu is placed in the 7th house of Sri Lanka chart. So because of that, we have what that represent is a foreign affairs and agreements. We have a lot of complications when it comes to foreign affairs, tourism, bond of relationship amongst the masses and business establishments, and the pleasure and amusement resorts. This kind of stuff is what Rahu brings into Sri Lanka chart, with some amount of deception and manipulation. Now, what is the 7th house where Rahu is placed? Owner of that house is Mars, but Mars is malefically influenced by Mercury, which is the most malefic planet. That means it shows karma, the collective karma of the people. As a result of this, we have setbacks to the living standards. That's what happened from ever since we got independence. Setbacks to the living standards of the people kept going down, and it's going to keep going down as well. Challenges to the international position of the country, that is happening to us. We are bankrupt right now. So that is what it is happening, because of the Mars is weak and Rahu is in there. So a lot of deception involved here. What can we do with this kind of situations? As this is all karma. If we are having karma, what we need to do to overcome karma is doing some good karma. This is the most important thing in Jyotish. Something can be done about it. If most of the people can understand how life works, help less fortunate persons, and the student education, love others unconditionally. Sri Lanka has some of this, to good extent compared to other countries, but we are getting so much worse now. For in a Rahu period also. Never cheat others, help clergy, help monks, help other clergy, feed stray dogs and animals. These things really helps for the country also. And this is a Sri Lanka chart, that's I told you. I mean, you might not understand everything over here. This is what the Sri Lanka chart is all here. So you can see the three red ones are basically, those are the three malefics that create a lot of bad karma to us. So this is how Sri Lanka chart looks. If you have questions, you can write, you can comment, and then maybe I can answer it. I mean, this is the highest knowledge available in this world. If you ever follow this properly, if you understand this properly, I have some lessons in Sinhala that that you can watch and learn, and then you will be amazed how accurate this is. There is no other science in this world that can predict anything like this. I can't do this in a little video, but you can see my predictions earlier, where I predicted the end of Corona, and I predicted what was happening, resignation of the former president, and all that bad time was there. It's a similar thing that's going to, like the long transit that we discussed at the beginning. So hope you get something out of this. If you do, I'm so glad. My idea is just to help others to understand value of this science. That's all. Thank you. Bye.